Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. It's the weekend, which means only one thing. It's time for that weekly news roundup. As always, we will begin with FPGA gaming news, the MiSTer, the Analogue Pocket, and any other FPGA gaming news out there that is worth reporting. We will then move over to some random and retro gaming stuff. Timestamps have been made available, so use those to navigate your way around the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. Before we go further in, guys, I do have a Patreon set up if you wish to further support the channel. And don't forget to check out the channel sponsor, MiSTer Add-ons, an absolutely awesome family-run store where you can get all your MiSTer needs taken care of. And finally, don't forget to check out London's best arcade, Free Play City. Anyway, enough of the sponsors, let's begin the video. Remember last week, guys, last Saturday, Jotego and team dropped a beta of Tato's The Fairyland Story. Well, they want to bring us some more Tato games, and this is where you guys may be able to help. So having a look at this tweet from Jotego, where he says, "We are looking for a donor or a loaner of Tato's Chak and Pop," what you're seeing on screen now, and NY Captor arcade PCBs for research and FPGA implementation. Please send DM if you can help. So if you have this hardware and you want to see it preserved for FPGA, consider donating or loaning it to Jotego for research purposes. As well as that, just before I started doing this video, Jotego released a Patreon post which is titled Service Release, and that kind of goes through a few things that Jotego has implemented. Now remember, Jotego's always improving his cores in the background. Let me just go through some of what was said in the Patreon post. So a couple of small things that affect almost all JT cores in this week's release. Better low pass filter implementation with more precise cutoff frequency, attenuation, and much less quantization noise. This is a side effect of the work Jotego and team have been doing on implementing the equalizer for the JT Fairyland Story core. And then also they have mentioned support for screen rotation on vertical games over HDMI and VGA, outputs 30 kHz for CD128, and that's courtesy of Robinson B5 and Jayako, I think that's how you say it. Also support for the Fairyland Story is now available on MiSTer, and that is courtesy once again of Gyurko, I think that's how you say it. So use your preferred update tool and just make sure you do attach the latest beta file that's available on the Patreon post. So that's really it from Jotego and team this week. Guys, I wish you the best, happy holidays, and really look forward to what comes out next year. The Nintendo 64 core for the MiSTer FPGA, an absolutely amazing core that is still getting worked on and is still getting improvements. Compatibility for this core is already excellent, and the games that weren't working worked via some patch ROMs, and that was actually implemented into like a version of the core, so when you ran it, it patched the ROMs for you automatically. Well, it has just received another update that has made it even more awesome. I haven't had a chance during the week to check it out, but my buddy Video Game Esoterica has a dedicated video on it where he talks through all the available updates. So if you want to check that out, I will leave a link to his video in the description of my video. But having a look at the core here, so MiSTer N64, and what was the last update? Here we go, the 80 megahertz one, so that overclocked core, and it was released on the 14th of the 12th 2024. If you want to get this, it should be available on the MiSTer FPGA Discord pinned under the N64 channel, so check that out. Hopefully over the weekend, if I do a live stream, I'm definitely going to do some live streams over the weekend. This might be one of them that I'll do just to check it out and kind of engage with you guys at the same time. But the N64 core is absolutely awesome. It's something that you guys should definitely check out if you haven't already. It's available via update tool, but if you want to get like some new unstable builds with some improvements, then consider running an unstable build. The Sega Saturn core for the MiSTer FPGA is always receiving updates, and it has received another update in the last week. SRG 320 has put in the update notes a VDP2 centered PAL video. Now if you want to grab the latest version of the core, like I pretty much say every week, head over to the MiSTer FPGA Discord, go over to the unstable nightly section and grab the latest version of the core. Just be mindful what you grab, because there is a single SD-RAM version of the core and a dual SD-RAM version of the core. Grab it, play it, it's a fantastic core. It's a system I so love because I never really played it when it was current, and I discovered the Sega Saturn on the MiSTer FPGA, and that's one of the great things about the MiSTer FPGA. Not only do I get a nostalgia kick from the systems that I loved, I played and I grew up with and I'm playing again, but I've also discovered a whole bunch of new systems and a whole bunch of new games. Try out the Saturn core, it's fantastic, and no doubt we'll likely get more updates during the week. It's just improving day by day, minute by minute. Fantastic work from SRG320. More great news from Raki, who has recently brought us the Konami Bubble System, Salamander, just a whole heap of goodness when it comes to the MiSTer FPGA, and hopefully they will be bringing some calls over to the Analogue Pocket soon. But a tweet here reads, "Something strange has landed," and just kind of expanding on that picture, doesn't that just look beautiful? But having a look at some of the text down here, scrolling down, code 666 here says it is Twin Cobra, and kind of talk about it a bit here. So that's awesome. Twin Cobra is an excellent arcade game, and it'll be great to get like a cycle accurate version of this as an FPGA core. And just again over here, Kyoka Tiger or Twin Cobra, and Raki here confirms it's a Twin Cobra. Zaparoo, where are you? We got some work for you to do. Okay guys, don't unsubscribe. I just had Scooby-Doo in my head because my kids were watching it downstairs as I came up to shoot this video. So what is happening in the world of Zaparoo in the last week? There's always stuff happening. There's always a lot of stuff happening in the world of Zaparoo. So Steam OS Beta now available. So if you want to launch games via your Steam Deck using Zaparoo, if that's an option for you, you can do that. I know some people have a Steam Deck as their main PC. They use it like a Nintendo Switch almost. They dock it, they play it on the go, then they dock it and play it on the TV. This may be a very, very good option for you. Then next up, we've got this here from Anime Otaku, who is just brilliant. So PS Vita cases, I really like the PS Vita. It's one of my favorite consoles. And as we can kind of expand on this over here, I know Anime Otaku is a big Metal Gear fan, and like Vita style boxes with Vita style cartridge NFC cards, like really, really small. So do you remember the size of a PS Vita cartridge? Very, very similar to the size of a Nintendo Switch card if you're not familiar with a Vita. But again, an excellent option in the world of Zaparoo from Anime Otaku. And over here, this looks really, really good. So this here is from Todd Gill. New product alert, Zaparoo NFC reader for your MiSTer FPGA console. Launch games via inexpensive NFC cards on your MiSTer. Give it that more console-like experience. Also back in stock USB-C to USB-C and 5-volt barrel adapters. So if that's something you want. So it's quite a funny video there when I watched it. He's trying to stick a cartridge in the MiSTer, kind of to emphasize the point that you can't stick a cartridge in a MiSTer. But what you can do is you can stick that Zaparoo drive at the bottom, insert a card in, and you can get the feeling that you're plugging in a game when you're playing it. Do check it out, available in different colors, links in description. And the icing on the cake has to be this from Pixel Memories, man. Look how darn good this is. Let's read the tweet first and then we'll check the rest of it. So, Pixel Memories, here's the final version of the Pixel Memories Zaparoo compatible NFC reader for MiSTer FPGA and PC. Pre-orders will be available soon with the first batch ready in 2 to 3 weeks. And again, this just looks really, really good. I mean, cosmetically speaking, guys, that is fantastic. Look at that. That's your NFC reader. Those are like your little amiibo. I don't know what you want to call them, like little shapes with different game characters in there. You can program them to your heart's content and run whatever you want on there. Have a look at the next picture. I mean, just look at that, guys. If you want a panaz, a good looking setup, you can have that set up and you can touch that stuff from there and launch a game. Definitely absolutely fantastic. Just love Pixel Memories. I'll be doing a Pixel Memories video soon because I bought an arcade stick from them that I think's fantastic. I just haven't had the time to film it and run a video out there. But guys, this stuff is just fantastic. Absolutely love it. Great work from the Zaparoo project and everyone that's involved in that project. This now may already be too late and they may already be sold out, but during the week a tweet here from Takyudon regarding Mr. Pi, and the reason that I'm kind of covering this because there were some people that were waiting for PayPal to become an option as a method of payment. You know, whether they trusted it more, whether it had issues with address verification or any other issues that were kind of present previously, maybe they're gone with PayPal. Also, PayPal gives you the option to pay in installments, and I know that breaks it down and makes it easier for some. But this tweet here, the Mr. Pi PayPal batch will go on sale in roughly 20 hours. Supplies are limited. If there are any left after 1 hour, the stock will open up for our normal payment method. which is a credit card or debit card, looking to have all these shipped by end of day Friday. Now, I'm filming this on a Saturday morning. They may all be gone. However, if you are looking for Mr. Pi and PayPal is the only way you can or the only way you want to pay for it, it might be worth checking out the website just to see if that option is still available for you. It's pretty unanimous that the best open FPGA Game Boy and Game Boy Color cores for the Analogue Pocket are the ones that Buddu 2 ported over from the MiSTer FPGA. They have some excellent new features, some nice quality of life improvements, stuff like real-time clock support and fast forward. They are awesome cores. Now Buddu 2, once he's got rid of that pocket sand, he started working on the Game Boy Advance core, bringing over the MiSTer core over to the Analogue Pocket, and it looks like he's making good progress. This tweet here reads, "It only took about a month, but finally got a game to load." So something I'm very much looking forward to. If he's doing as good a job as he's done, which no doubt he will with the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color cores, this Game Boy Advance core will be excellent. This tweet from Kuro jumped out at me because, you know what, his work deserves more recognition. Now, I've seen them over the time that I've been covering like retro or FPGA gaming. So what they have done is they'll look at an old display, like in the case over here, they're looking at the Game Boy Color, and then they're looking at a modern display, and in this case, the Analogue Pocket screen. And they are trying to mess around with settings so they can get your Analogue Pocket looking as close to the Game Boy Color as possible with the settings that are available. So the tweet here reads, "Playing around with the Analogue Pocket some more, trying to figure out the best display settings to get as close to the original as possible. Here is what I ended up with. So display mode, original GBC plus, desaturation +3, close as you can get until Analogue fixes the profile." So hopefully we'll get more updates from Analogue. I can't benefit from this too much because I'm colorblind, so I'm always confused with my colors. But you know, if you want to get it as close as possible, you want that nostalgia kick from your Analogue Pocket, you want it to feel like your Game Boy Color, then maybe try these settings out, and if you have, let me know what you think. And here we are in the other FPGA section of this week's news video. Should I say the comedy section? Really, it should be a comedy section, because when we see the people and what they're doing, they're definitely clowning around. So I initially kind of got wind of this on a Discord. I can't remember which one. Someone was like, it's called SuperSPGA, and I really thought they were mocking the project, but holy moly, man. So if you go to SuperSEGA.com, and we'll do that right now, right? So let's go, whoops, typo there, SuperSEGA.com, right? Let's go hit that. As soon as you go to that, okay, SuperSEGA, as it was known, is no longer using the name or domain SuperSEGA.com. The upcoming device, previously known as SuperSEGA, now is called SuperSPGA, man. Okay, so let's go. Is that going to take us to, here we go, SuperSPGA.com. So that's what it is now. What is it saying on the site? So the most powerful SPGA device, not FPGA, SPGA, right? To play all Sega games and cartridges. SPGA stands for Sega Programmable Gate Array, not developed by Sega. What we decided to call it an FPGA developed entirely to run and play Sega games, so an SPGA. I swear, something about SPGA just sounds weird. I don't know if I'm thinking spaghetti, I don't know if I'm thinking special needs, I have no idea. So SuperSPGA, in 2024 known as SuperSEGA or SuperSEGA, is an upcoming retro console that allows to play games from Sega SC3000 to SG1000, Sega Mark III, Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive Genesis, Sega Mega CD, Saturn, and Dreamcast. You can play you can play physical games using any of the 3 slots or via SD card and compact flash. As well to play Sega cards, 32X and Game Gear physical games if you provide the Sega original adapters. Okay, so what's it saying here? December 2024, Sega issued against SuperSEGA. We changed the name for SuperSPGA. Okay, so Sega writing them or giving them a pre-action letter or a letter before action, whatever it was, you know, like the threat of taking them to court. So they've now changed the name. At least that's what they're saying. They're asking us to stop and destroy all units being manufacturing. See our reply here. I'm not going to click on the reply. This is just a brief overview. It's probably gone over the time I wanted to go anyway. We ask for Sega to reply to our response in no more than 14 days since 5th of December 2024. Pre-orders were closed on 24th. Okay, so yeah, you just let me know what you guys think, man. I mean, like, yeah, this is definitely just the weirdest thing in FPGA gaming, man. I thought there was weirder, but I think this one has definitely taken the crown. Most of you guys believe this to be some kind of major scam. I don't really think anyone believes it. I've got no idea about these reviews over here for a product that's not even out. And just have a look at their YouTube channel. Last video was 3 weeks ago, and honestly, all the videos, there's nothing concrete there that gives me any confidence in this project. And here we go, and here we've got like Alejandro, the main guy behind it, like rocking and rolling in some guitar work from 2007. Anyway, that's SuperSEGA. Whoops, not SuperSEGA, SuperSPGA. I very much see my channel as a community channel. I really like engaging with you guys, and I love it when you guys like drop me a DM saying, Pixel, check this out, you may be interested in putting this in your weekend's news video. And a buddy of mine, Danahan, DM'd me this and he said, dude, check this out, because he knows recently I got a PVM, and he said this is really, really cool, and I completely agree. I think it's very, very cool. I leave a link to this Reddit article if you want more information on this, but it's called the Bar Boy Mini, and here's the final design. So what is it? Well, it's like an enclosure where you can put your PVM inside with an arcade stick right in front of it, giving you that arcade experience on, like, you know, a somewhat smaller screen. Either way, it just looks like a fantastic invention. I'll flick through the pictures, but as we can see, this looks great. So maybe via an analogizer, you can put your analog pocket, you can connect your analog pocket to it, or you can connect your MiSTer to it. You can probably have multiple devices going in the different inputs anyway. But guys, this looks really, really good. If you want like a, you know, if you're limited to space, like I'm very, very limited to space. So if I was to get an arcade stick, or if I wanted to get an arcade cabinet, this is the kind of thing that I would likely have. So again, it looks really, really good. And what we got there, the Path of the Warrior, I can't remember exactly. Oh, is that Rage of the Dragons? I can't even remember. Sorry, don't quote me on that, guys. But hey, either way, we're looking at this project and it just looks great from I am Mo Kyo. Okay, nice, good stuff. This is something that I featured on the channel before, and I'm not big on 3D platformers, but man, does this look good. And yes, I will give this a try. I'll probably get frustrated because I'm terrible at 3D platformers. Wow, look at that, man. Mario in BioShock. This is just superb. So what we got here, Mario in the Multiverse release date trailer. So let's skip a little bit because there is some really, really cool stuff here. Here we go. What is it? That looks like Super Monkey Ball. So a little bit of that, more Monkey Ball stuff here. What other games have we got here that we can see? All right, maybe you can work stuff out that I can't. But again, looks really, really good. No, March the 10th, 2025. No, we want it sooner. We want this game sooner. No, we demand to get this game sooner. Mario Shotgun, that is a good ROM hack, and he uses that shotgun. Just kidding, it releases on Christmas Eve. Now, if you're wondering, is this going to work on original hardware? Because I can't remember when I covered this previously whether this would run on hardware or whether this was like a PC port. But great question here. This looks 6GG. Will this be console compatible? And an answer here, well, it is N64 software, so technically it runs. However, it's optimized and is intended to be played on an emulator. Playing it on a real N64 will be a bad experience. I'm actually wondering if we can, how this will run on the MiSTer on like the 80 megahertz core, the overclocked core. So either way, it'll be a fun thing to check out, but so glad stuff like this is coming out. Mario in the Multiverse, it just looks superb. Love seeing fan projects like this. I remember covering this previously on the channel, and now we're getting very close to it. In fact, we're just like 3 days away from it. I'm a big fan of the Game Boy, especially the original Game Boy DMG, and I like my games DMG style with that green screen because of nostalgia. However, I do like these DX hacks. I like to have the option there. I like to try out both. So Mark Max here says Mega Man World for DX is out now. The entire Game Boy series is fully colorized at last, and you can get it here. So if you click that link here, it will bring you here where you've got the patch files, and it's actually really good. They've kind of got an online patcher there, so as long as you own your ROM, you can run that ROM, patch the file, and your old kind of black and white game or your green screen game will then turn into a Game Boy Color game. I do like a lot of these DXs, they're well worth checking out. And if Mega Man World games were your jam, or in this case Mega Man World 4, you might want to check this out. So guys, that was it for this week. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video, then a subscription and a like is always appreciated. Be absolutely awesome to one another, guys. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.